Welcome to the PopCast, where it's all about
Fingerboarding.
Hola pessoas que sketch de dedo. This is Ollie,
And this is Tom.
and thank you for listening to the 10th episode of our Fingerboard PopCast. Woohoo, premiere! Today we have something special. We have a guest, and that's not special. We have guests every show, but we have a guest here live with us. It's Manu Oberle from Gripskin.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for being here.
Cool. Thanks for being in the show. Manu will talk about Gripskin later. This is in the news, but he will also be with us the whole show. So you might hear here and there a comment from him. We have no follow-up this episode, so we go straight into our first news.
The news.
And we talk about Dirty Monkeys FB, a crew or company from Argentine. And we talk about their new rails. Dirty Monkeys in general is an Argentine company, as I said, which was founded in 2010. They produce ramps and rails and fingerboards and also run events, which is always very cool. And they have pretty famous team riders, as an example, Nestor FB, who's probably the oldest fingerboarder in the world and probably known by everyone. And also Joaquim Mendes, who runs the company together with Diego Vasquez.
Yeah, exactly. And today we are talking about their new rails, which were introduced via Instagram from the 30th of November until the 3rd of December. Two of them were designed by Nestor and Joaquim. At least it said by on Insta. And yeah, we invited Joaquim and asked him some questions again.
Yeah, I know Joaquim already. He's a team rider of Black River, just as me. So it was luckily easy to reach out. And I asked him, why don't you introduce yourself to the people who don't know you yet? And also introduce Dirty Monkeys.
Well, hello. My name is Joaquim Guigo Mendes, or Joaquim Guigo Mendes in French. I'm a Black River Rams team rider from France, and I've been fingerboarding for about 15 years, I'd say. And I live in Argentina, where together with my friend Diego Vasquez, we own Dirty Monkeys fingerboards. Diego actually started Dirty Monkeys in 2010, and I joined the project at the beginning of 2020, 10 years later. But Diego and I, we know each other for about these 10 years, actually. We even organized the first ever fingerboarding event in Argentinian history together in 2012, when I was just a young guy living in Argentina for the first time. And then I came back to Europe until recently. Moved back to Argentina a couple of years ago and found myself helping Diego out more and more until it kind of made sense to partner up and bring things to the level that they are now, I guess.
So, judging from social media, you're the heart of Argentinian scene. How hard is it to stay in touch with each other with other fingerboarders in such a huge country?
Yeah, it is a huge country. Argentinians are actually very active on social networks, so everyone connects through Instagram mostly, I'd say, for content, and WhatsApp so much. And when it comes to events and getting together, I think it's the same as for anyone, as was my case when growing up. Anyone who doesn't live in a large urban area anywhere in the world, you just save up, take a train, a long distance bus in Argentina's case, maybe a plane if you're motivated enough, you know. We just had visitors from Chile last week, actually. And personally, I once took, I don't know, a 2-day bus trip to Brazil, or from Buenos Aires, or I drove all the way from France to Fast Fingers to go to the World Championships, you know, the kind of things you do for love.
So it's awesome to see that in Argentina there's so many fingerboarders and coming together. And we saw you're even doing events now. How did that work, and what are your plans for the near future event-wise?
Yeah, about events, we've had the longest quarantine in the world. So when things loosened up a bit and people started to get together again, we just hopped on the train and organized a free meetup kind of event outdoors. So that enabled the people that came by that day to finally get together after a long and depressing winter, while respecting social distancing measures. I actually tried to lay out the parks to prevent people from being too close to each other. We are planning to have another free outdoors event before the end of the year, so that's like in the following weeks. So yeah, bye bye 2020, and we hope to have a proper like big ass fingerboard event slash competition next year if possible.
Yeah, nice that you're trying so hard to make events happen. Hopefully 2021 will make that possible again. And yeah, we're all feeling the winter blues. Hopefully that goes away soon. And for our fourth question, your new rail series caught our eye. 2 of them are pro models. Is that right?
Yeah, on the Rail series, well, thank you so much for noticing. And well, they're not really pro models. Like there is a series of unique ones from Nestor, because he decided to do them on his own because he was feeling inspired. So we called them like by his name. They're like unique. And then there's our designs, and there's one I did design, and we call it the JoJo, but I don't know if I'd call it a pro model. It was more just, yeah, it's my design, but I wouldn't say it's my pro model. I think pro model is something else, I'd say. But yeah, I did design it. It's quite fun. People are liking it, fortunately.
All right, so it is like we thought. They are designed by the writers. He says they are not pro models, but let's get not hung up on terms here. We call them pro models for now, and we asked, will there be other signature ramps as an example?
There are more signature ramps, more innovative innovative ramps in the works. There's so much more stuff to come for 2021, and I cannot reveal anything yet, but it's going to be big, and so keep an eye out.
All right, thanks. We will. Thanks also for being on the show. And as usual, you got the last words.
Well, thank you so very, very much for inviting me to speak about our project, because it's a collective project. We've got so many friends and family helping out with Dirty Monkeys, and thanks everyone who supports us here and everywhere else. Um, Thanks everyone who participates in general to the life of the scene by providing quality content, product, and events to the community of fingerboarders of all ages and genders and whatnot. And yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Joachim, and your Dirty Monkeys crew. It's pretty cool. I think your last words were pretty good. It's true that all the companies who support our passion by events and stuff or online content, whatever you can think of, I think it's important to have that, especially these days where we all sit at home and feel the winter blues, especially with the lockdown that's probably going on worldwide right now.
Yeah, that's true. It really helps if you see so much going on in the scene on Instagram and stuff. It's really helpful to feel better, at least to me.
How's that for you, Manu? You should feel it the most of us having meter high snow around you.
Yeah, I'm totally isolated because of the snow, but it's so awesome to see all over the world communities forming around fingerboarding, and I mean, for me, when we started, it was just Germany or the US, and now you can see in many different parts of the world, like companies and just people coming together. The company, it's not that important, but the meetings and the connection with people, it's so cool. And it's so cool to share it on Instagram and with everybody. So I think this is a good role model for people to follow.
Yeah,
Well said.
well said, Manu. You even added on the good words from Joachim.
True.
All right, let's jump into our second news topic, which is a little bit sad, I would say. It's a company that had to close down. We're talking about Theory Grip or Rip Tape. They were founded in 2015, and after 5 years, unfortunately, they had to close, which they announced via Instagram. The company was run by Brandon McWright, and he is from South Carolina, and so is the company.
Yeah, he sponsored a lot of well-known writers during the time. As an example, Fingered Ben on Instagram. Ben Dulac is his real name. Or at I Eat Fingerboards, whose real name is Geraldine Milne. And also people like Kelsey or Memphis Lafferty. Yeah, but let's take a walk down memory lane with Brandon himself.
Why did they close down?
Good question, Manu. That's exactly what we asked Brandon. We are sorry to hear that the company had to close down, and we asked him to describe in his own words what has happened.
Yeah, so the main reason why Theory's closing down is like over the last year, hobbies and interests have changed, and fingerboarding hasn't left as a hobby for me, but I'm just so this way and that way about things, and sales have just been down just because of the virus, I guess. So I just thought, hey, let's end on a good note. The guys have been doing really, really good, and honestly, I couldn't be more proud of what they put together, but I just don't feel like my heart's in it as much as it used to be anymore. But I figured, it doesn't mean it's the end. It just means right now we're going to end this book, and maybe a new book will start later.
Theory ran for 5 years, which is still pretty long in fingerboard terms, so we asked him to sum up this time from his point of view.
Yeah, 5 years, dude. I didn't know whether to expect Theory to last for 1, 2, 5, 10, or forever, but like I said, I feel like it was, a wild ride. I wouldn't trade it for the world, the goods, the bads. Honestly, I probably made some of the best friends I ever did by running this company. And just overall really understood what it meant to be a community. And that's overall, man, I think I took away so much more than I actually gave. And I'm super appreciative of that as well. It's been a crazy ride. Me and Charlie pretty much since day one, and then everybody else that came along. I couldn't be more thankful for what they've done for me. Honestly, I feel like they took care of Theory better than I did, and I couldn't have asked for just a better overall experience.
Yeah, and as we've mentioned before, you had a pretty badass team who were from all over the world, and we were asking ourselves, how did you stay in contact with them?
Definitely the team. Oh my God, we had huge names to who is this guy, and anywhere in between. And I think at the end of it, everybody made a name for themselves, thankfully, because of being under the Theory brand. I won't say that it was Theory that did it. We might have been the platform, but they put in the work. They're actually the ones that really made the team shine, and I could not be more happy with the group of individuals that I had on the team, and still have guys that are just like, man, Theory's always going to be my number one. And I think it's because we created like a family more than we did like a team. The best part about it was we never gave up. When something bothered somebody, we said it. And we worked it out until everybody was happy. I didn't ever want to walk away and tell you, hey, this is not going to happen. We always tried to strive to make sure everybody was taken care of. Ben was an absolute charger for the team. I absolutely appreciate him. Geraldine did a great job of trying to really help us get started, and I'm very, very thankful to her. Memphis, one of the newest guys on the team, I think he was the baby of the team at this point. That guy just has such a great spirit. He doesn't let it show if anything gets him down, and if it does, I would hope he'd always reach out because everybody in the community loves that guy. And it really hurt me to let him and the other guys down by saying I was closing this down, but I figured it was just best to let them move on. I didn't want to hold them back. They really deserved a whole lot more than what I was able to give at the moment.
And for our next question, we asked what his aim was when he first started Theory and how he feels now about it looking back.
So when Theory first started, I'd always liked to come up with, random skateboarding company ideas. Growing up from 10 years old and on, that was just always something I really had fun with, creating deck companies and creating shoe ideas and all kinds of stuff. So when it came to fingerboarding, I did not like the majority of the brands that were out there when it came to grip. I thought that this one was too sticky. This one was way too thick. This one just didn't hold up like I wanted it to. So I spent a really good portion of the beginning of my fingerboarding career, I guess you could call it, as far as when Theory first started, right before it started to now, because I'd always mess with tech decks, but when I actually got into like the real side of fingerboarding, I just realized, hey, I need to find something. I found a better grip, and thankfully I was able to talk to the people that created it, and they were just like, yeah, we can try this. Let's see what we can do. And thankfully they came out with a superior product, and then they actually improved it as time went on. So I actually want to thank them the most. They were probably the best source I ever could have found. I just wanted to say, like, hey, now that I'm happy with what I've got, I want to see if anybody else likes it. And so we started out with a 100-sheet order to that company. I was like, hey, can you make it, this width by this width, or this length by this width? And they took care of everything for me. I didn't even have to worry about cutting it myself. They were really chill. Sent it to me, started shipping it out. Charlie was the first one to try it other than me, and so was Alan Agudello. Alan wasn't super impressed. He was like, it's good grip, it's just not what I like. But Charlie was like, dude, this is something that really works. And so I was like, okay, well, it's a good thing I created this company. So let's see what we can do with it. And then it just kind of blew up from there. Zach from Rome 1984, I can't remember what he created the new team, but for the longest time it was Great Scott. And him and Bailey, they just all kind of jumped in, and it was just this incredible thing that just happened. King jumped in at that time, and that dude deserves so much. He's so humble. But I got really lucky with how that worked out. Overall, I want to say the goal was just to make sure that people were happy with the actual products they were using, and they weren't just using something that somebody said, oh, well, this is what you need, use it. I guess the rest is history. Maybe one day, like I said, it'll come back, but I'm not going to push that. I'm not going to promise that. Just right now, I think Theory had a great short life, and overall, I think the goal now, or the goal that was set about, was to create a new company and put out great grip. It was taken care of. I'm more than happy with what happened, with the success we had, and with the videos we put out. They were a lot of fun.
At the beginning, your tape seemed pretty amateur. The logo was cut out by hand and there was some paint over, and then you went to fully engraved graffitis later on. How was the innovation process over the last 5 years?
Yeah, man. The tape, dude, we went through so many ideas. We did the regular, foam grip. We did the grit grip, which was almost like skateboarding grip, but it was not as abrasive. So it really clung to your fingertips, but it didn't wreck them, like mob would on a fingerboard. So as far as the innovation went, I like to look at myself as a beginning maker. Jimmy DiResta, Nick Offerman, who plays Ron Swansea, I kind of look at their woodshop stuff and their welding things, and I'm like, man, I would love to be able to do stuff like that. And so Theory kind of gave me that smaller side of creativity where I could do that. We had hole punches that were in different shapes. I did the hand-painted logos with my really shitty art. We had a lot of fun coming up with ideas in group chats about like how we wanted to do it. And so once we finally got the laser engraver, I was like, we'd already been trying to figure out what to do for Pro Grips, and Ben had just left the team before I got it, and I was like, man, I really wanted to do his. His was supposed to be his glasses and his hair, and that was going to be his Pro Grip, and that was really cool. But like, we had Ricky at the time, and I forgot what we were going to do, but Bailey had some good ideas, and Charlie had that awesome graffiti looking stencil, stencil that we engraved on there. And then King's was just his basic name. I think everything that came together, it really improved me as a maker and as a creator myself. But hats off to the guys, especially. Like, they're really the ones that like drove it. They're like, hey man, you should try this. People are asking for this. They're asking me when this is happening. And I think that they pushed me more than just, my own self did. I had ideas, but I didn't know how to make them happen. And thankfully, Charlie and Zach and some of the other guys that had, been in the community a lot longer than I had knew about what companies were doing. And so we discussed a whole lot of things. Overall, though, the innovation, I think that if Theory was around for another 5 years, there were some things that we were looking to do that would have really blown y'all's minds. But as it stands, I think that the innovation was right on par with the growth that we had. I really only put a quarter of any money made into my pocket. The rest of it went right back into the company. That laser engraver was cheap, but at the same time, that really opened up the door for us in the last year and a half or so. So I was thankful that we were able to kind of push this, handmade stuff up to like a more professional thing. I think the journey that the customers took with us and the rest of the community took with us was just like, man, they're really trying to do something out of this. And I think that it really made me appreciate more what the community actually loved.
What are your plans now that Theory is closed, and will we still see you around at events?
So as far as future plans right now, like I said, I do woodworking and some basic creation stuff. Like right now I'm trying to work on an overland trailer is the big plan, just to be able to go off-roading with buddies and be able to go camping. As far as fingerboarding goes, like I haven't been active on mine, which is my username is at sc.fb for South Carolina fingerboarding, essentially. So I'll probably be back on there sometime in the future. I haven't really done anything with it lately. Theory, I'm just going to leave the page up. It's a good reminder of what happened. But right now I'm just on mine, which is MCCREIGHT MB, which is McCride MB. That's my Insta. So, I mean, if you want to follow it, it's pretty fucking random. And then I've got arcticbear.xl, which is where I'm doing a lot of Skater XL content. Having a lot of fun with that. That's not what killed Theory, because I'd been putting a lot of time into that, and I had somebody ask that question the other day. Definitely not. I think that's just an extension of fingerboarding, because fingerboarding is just an extension of us skateboarding. Grew up skating pretty much my entire life, and getting older now, it's not as easy. A lot fatter than I was. In some senses, a lot of injuries. So, I think fingerboarding really opened up that door for me to be able to continue on with the spirit of it. And now, thankfully, Skater XL, even with its issues, I think that game is on par to be the best skateboarding game ever made in history so far. Anything past that, I mean, you guys are asking if I'm going to still be around at future events. I would love to continue to be able to go to these things. I do know that Plague is planning on trying to do one eventually. I'm just not really sure if it's going to happen right now with just the virus stuff going on. Overall, if it does, I'm probably definitely going to show up to that. I'm hoping that maybe some more Southeast events will pop up, and if I've got time and money, I'll definitely go. I still plan on at least going to one rendezvous. It just has not happened, unfortunately. But maybe one day. Events are definitely something that's not ruled out. I would love to still be involved in those and just come and hang out and just see how things are progressing over the next few years. Like I said, you never know. We might be back into it. But for now, again, still closing this chapter, still closing this book.
And as always, also Brandon can tell us some last words here.
I really appreciate you guys having me on the show. I never expected to be at the level we're at, and I actually never expected to shut down Theory. It was going to happen for about 2 or 3 weeks before I posted that, and I had talked to Charlie and I said, I'm never going to shut this down. And then one day I was just kind of like, at the moment, I'm a whole lot happier not dealing with most of this. And it wasn't anything that happened in the community. It was just me personally. I think that it was time for me to move on. I don't think I had much more to give. I really didn't feel like dealing with, trying to advertise and post things. Things had really slowed down, and it was more just because, the economy the way it is here. Things aren't bad, but people are trying to save their money right now because a lot of people are out of jobs. So I don't blame them. I think we took a look at how things really worked out for the team, and that was really what hurt me more. It wasn't saying to customers like, hey, Theory's no longer a thing. It was more of, hey guys, I don't think I can continue to sponsor you. This is going to be the end of Theory. Just like I do at my real job where I manage people. Theory, I'd like to talk to people one-on-one. The team, for a long time we did one-on-one conversations about like, hey, how's life going? How's things treating you? And I've kind of fallen off on that. So as a company owner, I want to apologize to my team for that. They'll tell me to shut up right now because I didn't do anything wrong. But I was really appreciative of like the family feel we had to our team. And I want to thank you guys for having me on here and letting me be able to tell my side of the story and how things are. The number one thing I can say to anybody that's still in the community and still running a company, kudos to you guys. You guys are really taking charge. I'm so thankful for everything that happened from Red Wolf, Geraldine at Teak, especially to Black River. You guys and ASI Berlin, not Black River, sorry. Timo took care of us. He was like, dude, I really like your grip. I'd like to carry it in the store. And I don't know how much they sold of it. And he never had to order again. So I don't know what that says about us, but I was really appreciative that somebody that big took a liking to us. I guess just to end this out, I'm going to quit rambling on now. I want to say thank you to everybody. Be on the lookout on my Instagram, on the Arctic Bear and the SCFB, maybe even Theory. If you keep following it, maybe in a couple months, a few years, something might happen with it. May not be Grip, or it may be Grip. I'm not really sure, but I really appreciate everybody's love and support. And you guys continue to be kind to each other. And if you ever have any questions and you want to be nosy about stuff, come talk to me. I'm always available, and I always pretty much answer anything I get on Instagram. So thanks, guys. Appreciate it, and love you all.
And now we go to our next news, which is about Gripskin. And therefore we have, as we said, Manu in the show to answer live. But first, some facts about Gripskin. It was started in 1999 by Peter Wolf. The urban legend is that he fingerboarded that long that he roughed up his fingers and then came up with this name. They became a crew with locals first and then grew over the years. They were always making wooden fingerboards. Peter started back then and Manu Oberle followed around 2005. Since 2019, the company is properly active again with Manu as the head and with many creative ideas.
Yeah. You can see on the Instagram that there is a lot of experimenting going on with plenty of passion and love into the single product. The products we are talking about today are the new ledges and curbs. Here Manu experiments with metal, which is not that common in the fingerboard world. There's more wood and concrete, as you can see. But first things first, Manu, welcome.
Hello.
As you already said earlier, now you'll finally hear more of Manu. Manu, are you ready to answer some questions?
Yes, I am ready. I'm super happy to be here and to share a little bit about the story and yeah, just sharing the last 15 or 20 years fingerboarding.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
That's cool. We're looking forward to that. As we said in the facts, you started in 1999 as a crew, basically, and now it's a brand, I would say. It's run by you. Why don't you give us a short history rundown? How did you see the time?
Yes, so basically you're correct with the timeline. And in 1999, Peter was just a little kid and just fingerboarding and creating his own little brand. But it never really was about, I don't know, building a brand. It was more about building a scene, building friendship, and connecting with each other. Because it was really a very local scene. And then when the internet came in 2003 with the forums, we connected with more people, and so it grew from there. And it always was about just coming together and sharing the passion, basically. And my part in Gripskin was Peter was the first guy I ever met. I was traveling as a little kid, like 1 hour from my home, to meet him for a weekend, and we had a fingerboard session. We filmed, and he showed me how he made his first decks. He used the classic tech deck mold, pressing some veneer he found somewhere between two tech decks. And yeah, this was actually one of the first wooden fingerboards. And he was inspired by the first Berlin Woods Timo showed at the German Championship in 2002 or 3, something like that. So yeah, and now over the years, it's hard to. I always made some products with the name Gripskin, and it's not my brand, but it's just I use it as to sell my stuff basically. But everybody is still in a way active or can use. It's more the crew.
Mm-hmm.
But right now it's me just experimenting with fingerboard products and creating new stuff.
Cool. So you basically have your own brand, but you still represent your hood. You still know where you're coming from.
Yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah.
Keep it real.
Keep it real.
Yeah.
Cool.
And concerning the experimenting, you said before that you're looking forward to experiment with new materials, and you're doing that now, as we've seen, with the metal ledges. What can we expect from that, and how is it going so far?
Yeah, so basically, I always try to find new materials or new ways to do things. And I studied product design, and maybe that's also why I have this mindset to find new solutions. And with the metal rails, I don't know, like the massive brass rail material, it's just something I never really saw before. And also combined with the like hardwoods, like solid wood base, it's just something new and something like if you feel it and you can touch it, it feels so heavy and so different than like other products. And the feeling when you ride it, it's amazing. It's so cool. You feel really connected to the ramps.
Nice. You could have not sold it better, I would say.
Yeah, but like now the thing is I have to find a way to produce it and to sell it because it's super heavy. I need to find maybe a better solution to ship it to all over the world. And then it's stuff like this that's going to be tricky to find like a compromise between size and weight and usability. But yeah, let's see. I think this year there's like in the summer, I think people can buy more of these ramps.
Nice. I'm looking forward to ride it, definitely.
Me too, yeah.
Yeah. When you started the Instagram channel again, I would say, You've said that you'll experiment in the house you're renovating during the summer. There, it sounded more like it's a temporary place. Has that changed now? I think you're in the mountains now all the time, aren't you?
Yeah, right now I'm also in the mountains.
Mhm.
And I'm not working on the house right now because it's difficult to get materials here. And it's a place from my grandfather, and now I'm just working on the house, and I have a workshop there, so I can produce the ramps and I can do concrete stuff. I can make the fingerboards and everything. So I have a place there, and I don't know. Maybe I'm more and more in this place because I can just do what I love to do and to produce new things. And so let's see how this works out. But it's a good place, and I want to share it and open it to more people. In the summer, I want to invite some local fingerboarders from Switzerland and have like more sessions here. And yeah, just having like a fingerboard mecca in a way.
Nice.
Sounds like quite a dream.
It sounds good. And it also sounds like you're producing all on your own right now. Is that right? Or are you still working with any of the Gripskin crew?
Right now, I'm usually just doing everything myself. In the summer, last summer in August, there were some Gripskins, Grips, Gripskin guys here. And with Tim Teichert, we made a special board split ply series, and it's not out yet, but we're gonna release it in spring probably. There's just 10 boards, and we made some of his tattoo graphics as a fingerboard.
Oh, nice.
And when they're gonna be sold, you can win a free tattoo of Tim.
Oh,
That's sick.
that's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
and we still have like a group chat that we connect, and I don't know, like everybody has their own way of living, and everybody does their own thing, but we still have like this core connection that we can share. We can see each other, like some people you don't see for years, and then you see them, and it's like best friends instantly again.
Nice.
And I think this is what it's really, really special to have people like this around. And even, I mean, with all of the fingerboard world, it's the same basically. With when you go to Berlin to a big or Fast Fingers, and you're just friends with everybody, and you have like a good time. And it doesn't matter what each person does in their own life, but it's like this little bubble of fingerboarding that connects everybody. So it's really, really cool. And this is also like the thing that I want to be able to communicate with other people right now on Instagram. Like I try to push fingerboarding in a way of products and just trying to do better, but also like having this lifestyle in a way, like sharing pictures with people or from events, and not just products.
Yeah, that sounds good. It sounds very good. Talking about the Gripskin crew and that you're still in contact, are you still in contact with Peter Wolf? What is he up to these days?
With Peter, I don't really have contact with him. It's funny, when I released the first boards last year, he ordered from the website a fingerboard.
Okay.
And when I saw it, of course, I sent him it for free.
Yeah.
Sure.
I don't know, we don't really talk that much because he was in his own way. He's doing photography now, like real professional work, and has a busy life. But still, we talked a little bit, and it's like back in the old days.
Cool.
Yeah, and your headquarter is in a beautiful textbook Swiss location, as we've seen. And you already posted your way to the closest post office, which was amazing. And how much inspiration can you draw from this landscape and stuff?
It's I don't know. I like it a lot. It's a place where you can just produce and be for yourself. And I have like the place and the time to do different things. And especially right now, like when I was in the city in Zurich, I always used to go to this public workshop. And last year it was closed all that time, so I couldn't really do anything there. So I'm super happy to have this workshop here in the mountains, and it's amazing. Right now it's a little bit of a tough situation because we got a lot of snow last week, like more than a meter of snow in a night. And I couldn't go anywhere for the last 4 days. Basically, I was snowed in. There are nobody else in this little village right now, and the street was completely full of snow. I couldn't even use the sled to go to the next post office.
Wow.
So I still have some orders that I need to ship out, and I couldn't do. But
Oh man.
I guess that's also like part of it. It's super cool. It's like you have to. It's a different life. You have to plan everything ahead, and you have to buy food before, and you cannot just go to the next supermarket and get everything you need. So it's cool to have like a more minimal approach right now in the winter.
Yeah.
But I'm super happy when when I can use the car back also to go up here, so I can start producing more stuff again. Because right now I cannot even make concrete ramps because it's too cold.
Oh yeah.
The concrete doesn't really mix that well. It sucks.
I know that problem. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
but
it's cool. Yeah. Like I said, I want to share it with more people, invite more people here. Yeah, stuff like that.
from my own experience, I can say that being in remote places on my own helps me a lot with my creativity. Do you feel the same?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Like I like to. I'm also always connected with the internet, so there's that.
True.
You can get inspiration and see what other people's are doing. But I think more important is to really think for yourself what you want, and then try to make it happen.
That's exactly how I approach it. No, it's nice.
I got inspiration here a lot because there's a lot of old furnitures from my grandfather in the house. When I cleaned the house, I started to get interested in the woodworking, the old school woodworking stuff. And that's when I started using more oils and wax for the fingerboards to finish it. And with my research, I also started experimenting with old school like glue techniques, with bone glue and stuff like hide glue like that. Like when they used to do the violins back in the days, they used a different type of glue. And I was thinking like, yeah, maybe I can use this old school traditional way of making modern stuff.
The violins are still made with hide glue, not only back in the days.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Sounds good. I love it.
But also like then I do a lot of old techniques and combining it with the modern techniques. Like I do all my molds and everything myself with 3D printing. Like also the concrete ramps I draw on the computer, then I print them and I process them to make the final molds. Stuff like that. It's really cool to just be able to experiment with a lot of things and getting better at it.
Nice, yeah.
That sounds great. Manu, usually to sum it up, we will give you some last words, but as you stay on the show till all the way to the end, we do it a bit differently, and we now just give you the chance to share whatever you want, whatever is on your heart, fingerboard related, not fingerboard related, whatever, what is on your heart right now, you get to share with our millions of listeners.
Oh my God, now I'm under pressure. What can I say? Like, let's keep it fingerboarding related. And I just want to thank like fingerboarding as a tool to express myself and to share the passion. And I think a lot of people that fingerboard for years now, they have a strong connection with fingerboarding, and they learn. Me personally, I learned a lot because of fingerboarding. It's I made many good friendships. I got interested in taking photographs. I started doing I don't know, ramps and stuff, just to learn and to create. And I think that's the spirit that we need to remember, to create a scene together and not just selling cheap products from China. And yeah, just thank you, everybody. And thank you also for doing stuff like this, the podcast, to share other people's views and keeping the spirit alive.
You're welcome.
Yeah. We just want to keep people a bit up to date who don't have the time daily to check the latest fingerboard news, because I think we all got a bit older and don't have as much time as after school anymore. So
Yeah, I'm sometimes get lost on Instagram with all the new stuff that's coming out every day. But there's like some stuff I'm like whatever, and there's really some really cool people who are doing cool stuff, and it's amazing to see that it's growing again, and it's so it's cool to see it, but it's a little bit overwhelming.
True.
Yeah, true.
I feel the same though. I feel it's growing again, and I think the pandemic played its big part in it. That you now have the usual newcomers who like get into the age of fingerboarding, but at the same time, a lot of people came kind of back. Like they stopped fingerboarding and then came back because like, oh, I'm home, I'm bored. Oh, I had this hobby like 5 years ago. Let's see what's up there, you know? I feel that's the spirit right now.
Yeah, and it's cool, like you see also a lot of people coming back and a lot of people entering the scene with a different background, like even older people who have like engineer backgrounds and then can produce different stuff, and so the community really can grow and have like different niches and everything. So it's really cool to see
It's
people
something
just creating and enjoying fingerboarding.
Yeah, that's something I also always loved about the fingerboard scene, that it's so massively diverse in terms of backgrounds of people.
All right, thanks, Manu. You stay with us, but we still move to the next topic. Our last news for this episode is news 4. It's a new fingerboard podcast came to the scene. It's called the Fingerboard Brew and is run by our record guest, Annie Jan, who will be the third time on our show today, and Evan. They both run pretty successful YouTube channels, I would say, or you know them from Instagram, maybe. Their show's called The Fingerboard Brew. I think I said that already. And the name comes from the tea they drink together. They have a pretty hefty time difference between the two. So whenever they record, it's morning for one and evening for the other. And they thought, what do we have in common, even though we have these different times? And that's the one drinks the morning tea and the other one drinks the evening tea.
And their first episode released on the 21st of December. And as of the 16th of January, they are at 4 episodes now. So far, they didn't have guests on their show, but they are talking about big topics such as, do you need a sponsor, or the move from YouTube to Instagram. And yeah, it's a pretty awesome show, I think. And so we reached out to them again and asked them some questions. And at first, we asked Annie to give us a little rundown of how the Fingerboard Brew started. If I'm not mistaken, it came up during a live stream, right?
Hey, I'm so glad to be back on. Thanks so much for having us. It really, really means a lot. So you're right, the Fingerboard Brew did start from a live on Instagram. Evan and I had been friends for a bit before then, but it was actually the first time we had spoken on FaceTime or even just like on a call.
Yeah, we noticed that we had a really good rapport and that we were quite open to discussing some lesser talked about topics in fingerboarding. So we decided to discuss the possibility of creating a podcast.
If I'm not mistaken, they run a weekly show. At least their episodes came pretty quick apart, and we were wondering how far they had their topics planned ahead.
So we're currently posting every week, but that is subject to change in the future. We don't want to give too much away, but we have some really awesome topics coming up that we want to discuss for the podcast and some really awesome guests planned too.
Yeah, I'm really, really excited.
Okay, now they already answered our next questions if there are ever guests planned for the show, but maybe they can tell us some already.
So we're not sure when this episode is airing, like this episode of PopCast is airing, but in episode 5 for the Fingerboard Brew, we are having our first guest, Savannah Simpson, who owns Duck Decks. We definitely want to include guests here and there, but we still want it to feel like a discussion, not an interview.
Yeah, exactly. The general idea for the podcast is it to feel conversational, just like two friends chatting. And whenever we have a guest on, we want to kind of have that same rapport. It's just like having another friend on here to chat with us as well.
And as you already mentioned in your show, you're in very different time zones. Apart from the recording, how does this influence the rest of your producing process?
So actually the biggest issue we have with the different time zone is recording logistics. I go to bed pretty early, and that only leaves like a small window for when we're actually both awake. We record our podcast in the mornings because that is when works best for both of us, but that even has to be moved around my school schedule.
Yeah, and that's mornings for Evan. And the time difference plays into when we need to schedule meetings as well. But honestly, having the 12 or 13-hour difference can be a blessing at times because it's like right at the beginning of the day for Evan, and then I'm just ending my day, so it doesn't cut into our regular work schedules or timings.
You already talked in your show about the name of the show and your favorite brews. But how do you drink them, though? With milk, with sugar, honey, and how much of it?
I'm really boring, and I personally don't put anything into my tea. I mean, maybe a bit of honey, but even that is rare.
Yeah, so with tea, if it's peppermint, I'll drink it plain. But for Earl Grey and English breakfast, sometimes I'll drink it with milk and sugar. It honestly depends on my mood. I also do want to point out that I generally drink quite a bit of coffee as well, but I don't drink it during our podcast because we record at night for me.
Okay, thanks for letting us know. I think a little bit of honey is never wrong, but that's everyone's preference, I guess. Anyway, thanks for being on the show. Annie, thanks for being on the show again. And the last words are for you too. Thank you.
I guess we should probably shout out our podcast info, so you can find us at the Fingerboard Brew on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and also YouTube, where we do a video version. And if you just want to get an idea of what the podcast is like, you can find us on Instagram as well. We're just at the Fingerboard Brew.
Yeah, we're just so excited for the future of the podcast and all the topics we're ready to talk about. We're also just so overwhelmed and grateful for all the support that the podcast has gotten and the overall positive reaction from fingerboarders. I think Annie and I can both agree that fingerboarding has given us so much, and we're just so grateful that we're able to give something back to the community. It's such an amazing feeling.
Thanks again for having us on the Fingerboard PopCast.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Yeah, thanks again from my side too to both of you. And best of luck with your podcast in the future. But now we go to our next category, which is the listener behind the scenes. And this time we got the company Flint Fingerboards. Yeah, as I said, it's a board company and it's run by Gonzalo Los from Portugal. The brand is famous for the love to detail, and also the packaging and boards are made with precision and attention to detail.
Yeah, I think everyone knows how much love is going in there. The middle ply is always made from actual wine, which is crazy. And he has art series. The whole brand is really artsy. And he also has a logo series as kind of an economy solution. We talked to Los himself. Before we get into the questions, Manu, you know Los pretty well, don't you?
Yeah, Los is a good friend actually, and I've been in Portugal a lot of times and stayed at his place. And yeah, we see each other a lot and we get inspired by each other also. Like when he started with Flint, we talked a lot about fingerboards and how they need to be and how the details should be different and just pushing each other all the time. So I'm really glad that he started Flint and doing really well with it, and people love it. It's crazy. It's awesome to see him succeed and doing what he loves.
Yeah, it's cool. Definitely. I think there's a pretty big hype. I think you're even on his website. I think there's a big header picture, which is you sitting at a fire or something. Maybe I'm wrong.
And I think there is also a picture of him in the mountains in Switzerland, that because he was here after the last Fast Fingers, he came for a week to my place here. And he was the first time here in Switzerland with me, and yeah, so we know each other pretty well.
Cool. Sounds great.
And I hope to be able to have working with him together on some small projects in the future. We're always talking, but there's nothing yet. But maybe someday.
A collab would be cool. And if it ever comes that far, you can definitely be on our show again and tell everything about it.
Yeah,
Promotion, sell out, yeah.
Cool. That's what both your brands stand for. Gripskin and Flint sell out serious.
Yep.
That sounds interesting, yeah.
Cool.
For sure.
Yeah. Okay, but let's ask Loss himself. Flint, according to our research, started in 2015. So we asked him to give us a short history rundown.
Hey guys, yeah. Flint started in 2015. It's been a nice period of time, I would say. Since it in the beginning was just like a side project that I was working because I was working as a graphic designer in a company, and Flint was like part of my something I wanted to make for a long time. Yeah, but after a while, I start seeing that I could do this full time. So I kept working and working until I got Flint perfected to a way that I thought that I can do this easily as a full-time job. But I never wanted to quit completely graphic design. I'm still working as a graphic design, but as a freelancer. But yeah, it's been a beautiful couple of years that I enjoyed a lot, the ride until now, and I hope I keep growing until and making Flint bigger and bigger every day.
Right in the beginning, you had next to boards, you had Flint beanies. Also, you have your signature jacket. So when can we expect Flint wear?
I always had this dream to make a clothing brand for Flint since the beginning. In the early beginnings, I did beanies. It was the mother of my girlfriend who made them. But I just made a few. It was more just for fun thing. And the jacket was me who, it's a normal jacket, and then I painted by hand the logo. But it's quite pretty. It's pretty cool actually. But yeah, I'm going to make Flint clothing 100%, and I think it's going to be this year. So wait for news for sure.
That's pretty exciting news. I feel like we're gonna have Loss on the show a lot. First with the Gripskin collabo, and then with his own clothing brand. Definitely looking forward to that. Not to live in the past, but we also asked him about the spots that he shared in the beginning on Instagram and asked if this will continue.
Yeah, another thing that in the beginning was pretty cool to make, we call it Sunday spot. And actually was an idea from my girlfriend. We were searching for all the city for tiny spots, but I actually found out pretty uh, difficult to make it. I don't know, maybe I didn't find that much places to that will be cool to share, and it's if I would share it would be just gaps and I don't know, some quarters or some shit like that. But maybe I should come back to that because it was there. There are some people who were asking me by then what happened to the Sunday spot.
It would be great seeing you getting back into this. At least I would enjoy, I think. And for our next question, we would like to know what exactly is the Flint Sailing Crew?
So the Flint Sailing Crew is the team from Flint. I always wanted to connect Flint with a pirate lifestyle, a bit like Black River. Um, so I wasn't conceptually thinking about making something connected with piracy and a team. So why not a Flint Sailing Crew? Like the boat is the Flint boat, and then you have the sailing crew that is the team from Flint. And right now it's constituted by Macera, Michael Ribeiro, Pedro Oliveira, Iris Faverio, and André Trejinha. Those are the Flint sailing crew.
And what also interests us is how do you choose your partners for the art series?
For the artist series, I choose mainly friends that I have. That are involved in their art or some kind of illustration, and I just ask them if they want to collaborate with me, and almost all of them say yeah, why not. But yeah, I have different persons that I don't know, but they end up working for Flint. But I actually, it's just a question if I enjoy their graphics. I like to have different kind of styles, and you can see that more graphic design, more artsy. I like to have them also. There will be a point that I don't have more friends, then I have to start um, asking for other people if they want to collaborate with me.
So, Losh, your brand is well known for the high quality of the product and your passion for each detail. But come on, you can do better. What do you can improve on your product?
First of all, thank you very much. Yeah, I'm always trying to improve. Always. Not only with the quality of the decks, but how consistent I can be. And the trying to be always a bit different somehow, and that will keep being the main focus from Flint is always improving and improving. Always. I never want to get stuck to anything. So wait for some news. I will have more stuff to come for sure.
Unfortunately, I haven't been to Portugal yet, but from far the Portuguese scene always seemed so social and chill to me. And I think, Manu, you can tell that from first hand.
Yeah, the Portuguese scene is one of the best. Like they are like a big family that fingerboards. It's so cool to be there. And
Yeah,
it's awesome.
I can't wait to go to my first event in Portugal. And I asked Los if that's the standard, how do they cope with it right now where they can't do events?
Man, it's such a hard time last year actually. Man, it was right in the moment that at least me and Ricardo were thinking about going to USA to an event. It would be my first event there. I was so hyped to go, and then this COVID thing happened. It sucks so much because we are so used to have events all over the year, and patio, of course. It's such a strange thing not having patio uh, last year. That we are used to seeing a lot of people from all over the world that come together to this tiny place. It's hard, but there will be more events for sure, man. I'm not desperate because I think that in the near future everything will be okay and we could hang out all together once again, and we will do this for the rest of our lives.
All right, thanks, Los, for being on the show. It's such a coincidence that you're on the same show as Manu, but I think it was really cool to have you both on the same show as you're such good friends. And tell us what you still want to share with the scene and our trillions of listeners.
Thank you for the invitation, man. It was an honor. What I would like to say to the community, I think mainly let's all get together after all this shit is gone, and we can enjoy all this miniature world that we love so much, and we could drink some beers again, because the big part of fingerboarding, as some of you know, it's the hangout with each other and partying with each other, and all the things that you learn with the people around you. I think that's the big thing about fingerboarding. And let's get together in the near future.
Yeah, pretty nice last words. Thanks a lot, Lars, for being on the show. But now we go into our next category, which is the product of the episode again. So Sid Pereira is reviewing a product for us again, as you know. And as we already told you, if you have a product which you want to be reviewed by him, you can always contact him via Instagram or on YouTube or wherever you can find him. And he maybe will review your product. But for now, we're gonna listen to what he looked into this time. Enjoy.
Yo, what's going on, guys? This is Sid, aka Vicious274, coming at you with another review. And I hope everybody had a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. It's 2021. Nothing but good things this year, let's hope. All right, but going forward, we're doing a review, and then the review is for the Black River Ramps wall hip. This is it's a small but fun ramp. You can get it at the Black River web shop. I believe it's around 24 euros, or you can find it on flat face fingerboards for $29, I believe. So this ramp, it's how should I describe it? Well, it's kind of like a half pyramid, I guess, is the best way to describe it. For those of you who don't know what a wall hip is, it's about 15 inches long, about 9 inches wide, and about 3 inches high. So basically, it's like two triangular banks kind of fused together with a flat back. So that gives you the opportunity to lean it up against a wall, which is why it's called a wall hip. Now, just because it's designed for a wall doesn't mean you can't use it for anything else. I mean, if you want to see this ramp in action, go to my YouTube channel, Vicious274, and check out my flat face fingerboards Christmas montage 2020 part. And you'll see this ramp in action in different ways that you can use it. You could put it up against the wall, like I said before. You could put it up against other obstacles. You could put it in the corner of a park. It's got all kinds of possibilities. Now, having said that, when it comes to wooden ramps that come down to a very, very fine part, like the beginning of the transition that meets the table, you got to be careful with these kinds of ramps, because if you slam them down or drop them, the wood in that area is very weak and brittle, and it will crack. That is not the manufacturer's mistake. It's just the nature of these types of ramps. So really, you have to be careful when it comes to these ramps, not slam it down or drop it or whatever, because it will possibly crack. Other than that, I really can't fault this ramp. I mean, it's cheap, it's pretty big, it's portable, and it's tons of fun. I mean, some people, they do complain that, Black River has a tendency of leaving nail holes. But honestly, guys, I mean, the nail holes are so minute that it won't interfere with anything. Trust me. Black River always has amazing quality, and I highly, highly recommend this ramp. Again, very portable, tons of fun, an amazing addition to any other ramp or park. And like I said before, you can get it on Black River Ramps shop or Flat Face Fingerboards. It's about 24 euros on Black River and about $29
on Flatface. So hope you guys like the review. We got more stuff coming up. And like I always say, keep fingerboarding. 2 fingers, peace.
Thanks, Sid. Again, that was an awesome review of the Black River Wall Hip, which I also like personally. You saw it maybe in 1 or 2 of my famous Instagram videos. Anyway, thank you so much, Sid. Again, what Tom already said, if you want to be reviewed with your company and your product, reach out to Sid on Instagram via direct message. It's @vicious274. Cool. And now we go to the story quiz. It's exciting. It's Tom's turn, and Manu and me will probably guess the right answer. So let's go, Tom.
All right. I had really a hard time this time finding something funny or weird in the stories. But in the end, I even found 2 things. So we will have 2 quizzes this time. The first one is just a video of somebody snowboarding down a hill in beautiful snowy mountains.
David Jones.
Nope.
Nah, damn it.
That would have been too easy. Okay, option 1 is Thomas Fingerskate, old school OG fingerboarder from Austria, you may know, who shows off his snowboard skills. Or was it Stefan Klauser, who shows off how nice he spends his holidays? Or was it Tony Hawk riding snowboard?
I say it's Thomas Schwarz. They both live in ski areas, I assume. I know it about Klauser, but
I think it was Stefan, also in Austria, snowboarding.
Okay, so that's your guesses?
I say Thomas, yeah. And he was snowboarding with Lyman beads.
Okay. Actually, that was a tough one because Thomas posted a video snowboarding, but not in the hills. It was in the city, jumping a ramp or something.
Really?
Yeah.
Sick.
And Stefan posted only pictures of him in the mountains in the snow.
With his girlfriend.
So it was Tony Hawk.
It was
riding
Tony
with some
Hawk.
friends.
Tja. Damn it.
Both wrong. Okay, so the next one is a picture, a pretty close-up black and white picture of a pigeon. And it has the caption, "Hello, friend." Yeah, that's the picture. And was it first option is Ramon Angelo, who got a little lonely within quarantine? Or was it number 2, Tony Hawk, who maybe searches for friends now who are not after his money and fame? Or was it Josh Piratenholz, who read about the famous inventor Nikola Tesla, who fell in love with pigeons in his later years, and now he wants to be as Nikola Tesla, maybe? Yeah, so that's the 3 options.
I like all 3 options actually, but I'm going with the last one because it's the most absurd.
Okay.
But the question is, does Josh Piratenholz even know what electricity is?
I was just assuming that he maybe read about
Okay.
Nikola Tesla, you know?
Read about electricity in theory. I say it was Ramon Angelo, as he posts a lot of black and white night videos, like my way to the Black River store, Azzy Berlin store, my way from the Azzy Berlin store. I feel it's Ramon.
Okay. What do you think, Manu?
Yeah, I think it was Josh, but
Yeah, you said Josh, right. And you're right, Manu. It was Josh. Yeah.
Damn it.
it was because of Nikola Tesla.
Yeah. Nice. That's great. No, so you lost all of it, Ollie.
I lost it all. I lost it all.
Where can I get my prices?
Maybe you can get a Gripskin board or something.
I heard they're pretty rare to get, so I don't know.
You at least have to wait till the snow is gone to get one.
Yeah, true.
But talking about prices, Manu, no pressure on you, but don't you want to give away something in our show?
Yeah, of course. I'm gonna print some 3D printed boards with the PopCast logo, and
Awesome.
whoever wants to have one, they have to, I don't know, subscribe, like, comment, and all that. And I will pick a winner and send it to the people.
Okay, I would say so. You have to like Gripskin, the site, the Insta site of Gripskin, and then send Manu a message why you deserve the board most.
No, don't send me messages. Just follow me, and then you will find details on Instagram.
Okay.
Okay,
We do.
So
like
I'm
this.
already following. Nice.
Oh, cool.
So I'm in it. So again, if you want to win a Gripskin board, a 3D printed Gripskin board with the PopCast logo, just follow Gripskin on Instagram and keep an eye on the stories and stuff. So, yeah.
Cool. Thank you, Manu. That's very generous of you.
Yeah, awesome.
No problem.
All right. Okay, and then we go into our last category, which is the video of the episode. Tom, I start, if that's all right?
Sure.
Cool. My video of the episode is New Year 2021 Fingerboarding. You will find it on YouTube. It's a video by Doubled Vision. It's super nice filming, the spots, the tricks. It's super clean fingerboarding, and he also has set up a lot of great spots. It reminds me a bit of the church video we've recently discussed in one of our episodes. I don't know which, but yeah, I was amazed by it. Okay, and Tom, what's your video of the episode?
As my video of the episode, I'd like to mention two things again this time. At first, I gotta mention the clips the BNDG crew posts on Instagram. Yeah, within January they've been posting some banging clips again. Some of them being featuring Stolli Pop, aka Tobias Stoll, for example, putting out some bangers on flat curbs, and yeah, you gotta watch this if you haven't already. And I found another clip on YouTube this time, which is just maybe only about 20% fingerboarding of it. And the other 80% is kendama tricks. But as I am enjoying watching kendama tricks sometimes, and it's been such a lovely video as the description also says, it's two old pals from Canada. And the name of the video is Terra Kendama and Fingerboard New Year New Edit Comp 2021. Yeah, I've never heard of the company before, but it's been so lovely watching this video. It's like two good friends in a small flat trying to combine both their hobbies and learning from one another. And yeah, they caught the vibe so good of situations like that. So that's why I want to mention this one. And yeah, that's it for me this time.
All right, that's it. Check out the video of Tom and me. Well, the ones we suggested, not of us actual. And Manu, thanks so much for being on the show.
Yeah, thank you for having me. And it was great to share a little bit about Gripskin. I know it's really underground, but I want to share it with more people. So thank you for the opportunity. And keep going. It's an awesome format and it's super interesting.
Nice. Thanks for bringing that nice vibe to the show.
Yeah. Thank you, Tom, for 10 episodes bearing with me.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thanks. It's been a pleasure.
All right, guys, have a great day listening to our episode. Have a nice fingerboard session. Keep on fingerboarding. Thanks to everyone in name of the whole PopCast crew. And keep on fingerboarding.
Yeah, bye.
Bye-bye.
Stop fingerboarding, can't stop fingerboarding, can't stop fingerboarding, can't stop fingerboarding. 'Cause I live fingerboarding, 'cause I live fingerboarding, 'cause I live fingerboarding.